we go to question 25, where Don says, then at some point in the future, the 4-density sphere will be fully activated. What is the difference between full activation and partial activation for the sphere? Ra says, at this time, the cosmic influxes are conducive to true color green core particles being formed and material of this nature thus being formed. However, there is a mixture of the yellow ray and green ray environment at this time, necessitating the birthing of transitional mind-body-spirit complex types of energy distortions. So let's make a pause here because this is heavy stuff already. First of all, Don is asking if okay, so when 4th density is fully activated, that would be in the future when 3rd density is no longer there. What is the difference between that state of full activation and the partial activation that we're living right now? So what is the difference experientially? What's happening at the full activation and the partial activation right now? So, the complex vocabulary of Ra says that the cosmic, at this time, the partial activation, the cosmic influxes are conducive to true color green core particles being formed. So, I like to use the metaphor of music and the dancer. Energy is the dancer. Music is the density or the vibration that is making energy dance in a particular way. This is how we can describe the whole creation. Okay, we have pure energy in movement, consciousness in activity, consciousness as mind, as movement, as activity. You see, everything is related. The creator becoming holographically projected, meaning just projections of itself in limited time and space. So for this animation to happen, you need to have a music, or for this dance to happen, you have to have music. For the animation, you need to have vibration. Now these vibrations change as obviously the evolution of the specific nexus, in this case planet Earth, is able to dance to that music. And so the particles, I don't like the word particles. I think this word was used as a concession to the materialist formation of Don. Not that he was a materialist die hard, obviously. He was obviously very flexible in terms of his understandings of this, but the core particles being formed and material of this nature thus being formed refers to the configuration of energy being vibrated at a specific speed and rotation. So this simply means that 4th density material is being formed, just like 3rd density material is formed in the human body, because we now have that. And I'll get to that if I remember, because I know I have a reflection about this. Ra continues and says, however, there is a mixture of the yellow ray and green ray environment at this time, necessitating the birthing of transitional mind-body-spirit complex types of energy distortions. So there is a need for humans to have a mixture between 3rd density and 4th density. This is the dual activated bodies that are facilitating the birthing of 4th density, as we will explore. There is a mixture of the yellow ray and green ray environments at this time, necessitating the birthing of transitional mind bodies. So exactly what I just said. Very good. We can continue on with the next paragraph, where Ra says, at full activation of the true color green density of love, the planetary sphere will be solid and inhabitable upon its own, and the birthing that takes place will have been transformed through the process of time, shall we say, to the appropriate type of vehicle to appreciate in full the 4th density planetary environment. At this nexus, the green ray environment exists to a far greater extent in time-space and in space-time. So this is first, let me explain this. Second, let me go into a little, not a particular rant, but an opinionated clarification. Should I put it like that? First, at full activation, this is the difference now. The difference is that at full activation of the 4 density, the planet will be solid and inhabitable upon its own, meaning that the viability for entities to reside in 4th density will be completely stabilized, established. So we would have a planet that is ready for entities to inhabit in 4 density, full 4 density. And the birthing that takes place will have been transformed through the process of time. This is what's going to lead me to my little rant on opinionated clarification. To the appropriate type of vehicle to appreciate in full 4 density planetary environment. Basically, what I just said, that 4 density bodies will be able to reside in the planetary sphere of 4 density. At this nexus, the green ray environment exists to a far greater extent in time-space than in space-time. Like I said at the beginning, there is an inundation, a permeation of energies of 4 density in time-space. Now remember, your bridge to time-space is your mind. Your mind is the bridge between this 3rd density space-time and the 3rd density / 4 density time-space. Your thoughts, your perception of reality, the way you feel about your life, etc. That is all time-space. So, my okay, so yeah, that last sentence where they say that green ray is obviously more in time-space than in space-time right now because it's transitioning, and so it exists more. There is much more availability, of course, in time-space of these energies than it is in space-time. Shocking, right? Our planet does not show yet the solidity of 4 density. Our planet, I mean space-time, our physical world. We're still very, very stuck in 3rd density. And if I should say it, and I support myself on Ra's words, we're actually looking through 3rd density towards 2nd density. So we're just like completely off. But that's being corrected, and we'll get to that as well in this video. It's important to mention this in Harvest, because people get freaked out by Harvest and say, we're doomed. Harvest is here to destroy the planet, and Satan is going to rule over, or is it Lucifer? I forget which imaginary figure we still use in our 3rd density mentality. Oh gods, this is fascinating. Okay, so my little rant is this. There is a train of thought that I do not subscribe, and it's a very popular one. You can see it. I actually, when I was introduced into metaphysics, law of one, and all of this, the major expounders, is that even a word? Expounders, is that a word? Apologies, I'm expanding my English as I speak. I do this all the time in my Spanish channel. Speaker exponent is the word I'm looking for. The exponents of this theory were the ones that I got into, because I knew I didn't know any better. And so the theory is about this solar flash that is going to happen in the vicinity of 2030, according to prophecies and studies and calculations of galactic spiraling energies and hidden stars and it gets very obscure and mystic and all bizarre. It's a compelling theory, I have to say. I have to give some credibility to it. Yet it is a story that doesn't match my own intuition. Let me put it this way, so I just don't sound absolutist. I'm just speaking from my heart. I don't believe in the solar flash. I don't believe in a sudden enlightenment process. In one of the things that I thought it was fascinating, and this is where you start to see that those who simply want to believe something, and I get this, I'm not criticizing. Most of you know exactly who I'm talking about, because it's not just one person. There's a lot of people that actually believe in the solar flash. Surprisingly, a lot of people. I do have to say that I sense an amount of fear in it, and that is just a big alarm. The fear of a solar flash. Am I going to be ready for this big event? We had a similar, and funny enough, the same exponent of this theory said that 2012 was going to be something like that. It was going to be that moment. But that got postponed apparently to 2030. Again, I'm not mocking anybody. I just think it's funny how we delude ourselves from our own agendas and our own thinkings just because we have some wishful thinking, which is fine. It's our human way of perceiving reality. I have been a fool myself to believe in these things myself. Like, I create these things. And it's just, in the end, all you have is laughter. Laugh at yourself. It's only when you take yourself too serious that you get into trouble. Always. Always. So in any case, my rant about the solar flash is that these exponents are actually students of the law of one. And somehow they ignored the answer where Ra says that this transition to 4 density will take approximately 100 to 700 years. It's a gradual process. Funny enough, we just got to one of those answers where, again, this was ignored in the theory. This specific part where Ra says that at full activation of the true color green density of love, the planetary sphere will be solid and habitable. Okay, this is the part. And the birthing that takes place, obviously, between 3rd density and 4th density will have been transformed through the process of time, shall we say, to the appropriate type of vehicle to appreciate in full the 4th density planetary environment. Will be transformed through the process of time. There's even a better question going forward that I'll emphasize to say that I personally believe that the solar flash is just another iteration of the fear-based transition to 4th density. And I've seen people, again, I don't want to mention names, but I've seen their wording into this, in essence, says, get ready for Ascension or you will miss it. That really bothers me. That does bother me. When people give that ultimatum of, you're not ready for Ascension. You are. It's really, again, another. It's another version of repent. Repent because Jesus is coming and you will be judged. It's the same version, or rather a different version of the same program. You know where these influences are coming from. And if anything, if my word can get out there for anybody that resonates with this, is if you feel fear, if you fear for something in your life, then chances are it's not real. That's an illusion. And so this is, again, a point to be made for the gradual process of transition. And yeah, there's more to say about this, but it kind of bothers me when people use this as a way to say, you're not ready, you need to get ready, and here's the recipe to do it. Yeah, that's, I don't know. But to each their own. I think this is all needed. I just can't see it yet. I don't have the wisdom to see why this is needed, because I specifically am subscribed to giving, I don't know, to speaking my own views. Perhaps that's the lack of wisdom that I have, and I should just remain in silence and look at the world simply develop. That's actually a better sign of wisdom, silence.